Sawyer says he's laughing his butt off. The hype is gone from the electric vehicle industry. EVs are becoming boring appliances, like that new appliance that Tesla is going to release with a 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 1 second. But you also have to admit, we have made a lot of progress. We went from cars that don't work to, oh, these are just boring cars. Never mind that they are actually better than gasoline-powered cars by a lot, with improved safety, better comfort, instant acceleration, so that if you're in a pinch, you can get out of a tricky situation immediately. Inevitably, in the long term, eventually lower ownership costs as well because of lower maintenance costs and lower costs for making the vehicle move with electricity instead of gasoline. If EVs are boring appliances, then gas-powered cars are outdated appliances. Gary says EV industry leaders like Tesla need to drive this narrative. We have gone from stage 1, early adopters buying EVs, to stage 2, rational pragmatists who need to be convinced through facts, figures, and analysis why they should go EV. It's not about high monthly interest payments. It's about increased and more effective communications. Think about how Apple convinced users of BlackBerry, Motorola, and Nokia dumb phones to switch to iPhones. However, rational pragmatists probably don't consume legacy media, probably because they are rational pragmatists. So how do we communicate with them? Well, first of all, create the absolute best product so that competitors look silly, which Tesla has done with the Model Y. Second, flood the streets with it by making them as affordable as possible, which Tesla is in the process of doing. This will increase awareness in the real world. Oh wow, these things are everywhere. They must be really good. Eventually, a close friend, family, neighbor will have one, which is exactly, by the way, how I got to try my first Teslas. Third, make it frictionless once they decide to buy the product after being shown it by someone they trust. Fourth, delight the heck out of the customer once they have the product in hand, making them an evangelist. And then the cycle repeats itself. Anyway, I met someone new a few days ago and I was asked about my Tesla. And the moment I mentioned that the government has an $8,000 incentive over here where I live, in Canada, I think the person suddenly got incredibly interested in potentially buying a Tesla. I think many conversations like that take place every day. We sometimes forget that Tesla has the best-selling car in the world by 20% versus runner-up at 2 times the average selling price, little to no sales and marketing, fraction of the markets as an EV-only car, etc. This is with EV being low single digit of total transportation TAM of 1.4 billion vehicles. The notion that Tesla desperately needs to advertise or educate through legacy media sources, in my opinion, falls flat on its face when the company has already made such crazy headway in terms of sales. Toyota advertises more than any other car brand, yet the Corolla came in second at half the average selling price versus the top selling model that didn't advertise. Knowing this, are we really that confident that advertising is truly the most important lever Tesla can pull to create awareness? I think the most important thing that Tesla can do to create awareness, or one of them, is to get the next generation vehicle out a little bit faster. I have generated millions from advertising, so I'm sure advertising would work if Tesla really focused on it. Tesla, though, is still choosing not to really advertise all that actively. We don't know how much money Tesla has spent. I guess it's not that much. Now, when it comes to advertising, even something like this is likely to work for Tesla. Check this out. This is a crazy story.
From the Economic Times. How did Kanye West Super Bowl ad shot on zero budget spark $19 million in Yeezy sales? 30-second spot reportedly costing him $7 million. Stood out amidst the glitz and glamour typically associated with Super Bowl commercials. Filmed entirely on a cell phone camera with the backseat of a car. Tell me how impressed you are with this clip, everybody.
This Ye, and it's my commercial. And since we spent all the money on the commercial spot, we actually didn't spend any money on the actual commercial. But the idea is I want you to go to Yeezy.com, YEEZY.com. And I'm gonna write it at the bottom of the screen. And I got some shoes, and that's it.
And they played that at the Super Bowl? Did they play that on the Super Bowl?
Think about the level of boldness to be driving probably to gas. He may be going to McDonald's to get a Big Mac. He's like, looks at the
That didn't
driver.
look like a Bentley. That looked like a cab.
No, it looks like a truck
And
he's driving.
did they play
the
that
sound
on the
of it.
Super Bowl?
Elon could probably record a Tesla ad on a toilet seat saying that we spend no money on advertising and we made the best EV. So yeah, go to tesla.com, book a test drive and check it out. It would probably work. However, James responds to Gary Black with this: Tesla just does not have the organizational competency and leadership to do this. I have sort of given up on this idea. Elon is the greatest entrepreneur and technologist in history, but he is still running Tesla like a startup, which in my view, that's a good thing because we still need to make the Tesla bot work. We still need to make the dojo potentially work, hopefully it works, although it's a long shot, says Elon. We need to build new vehicles, we need to build FSD. It's good that Tesla is run like a startup. This is made clear from many of the high risk, high reward decisions made in the past few years, decisions that needed not be high risk, high reward. There was a safer way to bring the Tesla Semi, the Cybertruck, the Compact to the market. Elon isn't here for safer. This is both his biggest strength and his biggest weakness. I don't think Tesla's vehicle business has been well managed for the past 3 years, but in retrospect, this all makes perfect sense knowing Elon's managerial style. He is always focused on the next big thing as a priority. Do you remember that Tesla was told to focus on the Model S and the Model X when they started working on the Model 3? Tesla should not worry about producing a high volume vehicle. It should just focus on making high-end, expensive luxury cars. If Tesla would have done that, that would have been the stupidest thing that Tesla could have done. You could delete the Model S and X from Tesla sales and no one would really care much. I mean, the investors wouldn't care much. Now, does James have a point here? And could things have been done differently? Yeah, but then it wouldn't have been Elon doing those things, which means that some of the future projects would have been likely jeopardized to at least some degree. One big reason why I remain all in Tesla stock with my stock portfolio is because Tesla is like a startup company. I know some investors may see that as a negative, but those investors probably are not really invested in Tesla stock. I mean, they might own some Tesla stock, but they are not going to own incredibly large positions of Tesla. They own many other stocks that fit them better, and that kind of an investor probably owns a lot of bonds. I don't see anything wrong with that. It's just a different investing style. James continues, now we are left with a product portfolio that is maturing in a market where early adopters have already purchased and a complete inability for Tesla to manage the situation. They don't know how to do it. The CFO is counting pennies and tracking ROI on Google AdWords. We should accept that growth will stagnate until Tesla's next amazing vehicle that allows them to enter a wider customer demographic. It is what it is. It will come eventually. In the meantime, maybe one of Elon's high-risk, high-reward bets will pay off. James continues, I see Tesla as a high-risk investment now, he says, when I used to see it as the safest investment in the world. Unless the culture and the direction changes drastically, these are my personal conclusions. Here's one thing you can expect from Elon Musk. Don't expect the same thing going forward. You always get surprised by Elon Musk to some degree, unless you expect to be surprised, and I guess you don't really get surprised because you were expecting a surprise. Rosado says, what happens when COGS continue lower, Cybertruck rams, compact car is released, FSD is level 4, and bot is used in factories? I think if you are looking at the short term, is the risk high with Tesla stock? It has always been in the short term, but in the long term, I don't think, for me personally, it might be different for you, but for me personally, I think it's a safe investment. Also, I see Elon Musk reposting more Tesla's posts, which to me indicates that Elon Musk is paying more attention to Tesla. And anything that Elon Musk pays attention to, I think, improves and gets better. And Elon Musk remains a large reason why I am so invested in Tesla stock. And just to be very, very, very clear, I don't think most people should be all in Tesla stock in their stock portfolios. I think that would be highly not advisable for most people, especially for people that are closer to retirement. but you have to look at your situation and determine what's right for you. For me, if I wasn't in Tesla stock, I would be buying S&P 500. That's where 90 to 100% of my stock portfolio probably would be. It pretty much just now reached another all-time high. Many things can happen with S&P 500 in a 5 to 10 year period, but looking forward many decades ahead, I'm extremely bullish on S&P 500. Another thing that I would possibly consider is Bitcoin, but only if it drops about 80% from its all-time high. If you were watching my videos more than a year ago, you remember me talking about Bitcoin briefly, and it did not drop down to 80%. So I did not buy any at all. It's pretty much back to an all-time high now, and it's up 270% since that last major dip. A big shout out to everyone who did buy Bitcoin earlier. It could go further up, but I'm not interested in Bitcoin unless it's at least 80% down from its all-time high. For the simple reason that that's exactly what has happened multiple times before. Anyway, if it does not drop lower, this would be an example of how trying to time the market often can lead you to missing out on huge opportunities, which is why I don't try to time Tesla stock. I just try to buy more when a huge opportunity presents itself. Anyway, I'm not sure if for those that are retired, I would advise to put 100% of their stock portfolio into S&P 500, but certainly many people have done it incredibly successfully and they have not regretted it, and they grew their wealth substantially while still withdrawing quite a bit of money. Anyway, one day I will probably make a video about this because eventually this is what I will do, but for me, it's certainly not time yet. Tesla stock just has way too much potential reward for relatively low risk. But that risk is certainly not for everyone, not to a degree that I have taken it. But in my case, I am young, I can still make a lot of money going forward. So in the absolute worst case scenario, if I lost everything, I can easily, well, maybe not easily make it back, but certainly make it back and make more. And so in my stock portfolio, I remain all in Tesla stock. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in tomorrow's episode.